A volcano is one of the most destructive forces on Earth. Temperatures can exceed 1000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt rock and erase almost anything that falls inside. So, what if we used them? What if, instead of landfills and oceans, we dumped all of our trash into volcanoes? Every year, humanity produces over 2 billion tons of waste, plastic, metal, toxic chemicals piling up faster than we can handle. At first glance, volcanoes might seem like the perfect solution. A natural incinerator, endless heat, total destruction, but the reality is far more dangerous. This is Vanta, and this is what would happen if we dumped our trash into volcanoes. To even consider this idea, we'd first need to solve a massive problem: location. There are about 1,500 potentially active volcanoes on Earth, but most of them are far from cities, hidden in remote regions. Transporting millions of tons of garbage to these locations would be incredibly expensive and extremely risky. And even if we manage to get there, not all volcanoes are the same. The ideal candidate would be something called a shield volcano. These volcanoes erupt slowly and often contain lava lakes, large pools of molten rock that remain relatively stable. But shield volcanoes are rare. Instead, most volcanoes are stratovolcanoes, steep, explosive, and highly unpredictable, the kind that can erupt violently without warning. Now comes the real challenge: getting close enough. The surface around a volcano is one of the most hostile environments on Earth. Toxic gases fill the air: carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, enough to suffocate you in minutes. The ground is unstable, rocks can collapse without warning, and molten lava can erupt suddenly, sending burning fragments flying through the air. But let's say we go even further and start dumping trash inside. That's where things get really dangerous. Lava lakes may look calm, but they're anything but stable. When cold material like garbage hits the lava, it doesn't just melt quietly, it triggers violent reactions. The sudden temperature difference can cause explosive bursts of steam and gas. In real experiments, even small objects thrown into lava have caused powerful eruptions. Now imagine dumping millions of tons of waste. Instead of solving a problem, we could be creating massive explosions, launching molten rock and toxic debris into the air. In some cases, lava has been recorded shooting over 80 meters high. That's higher than a 20-story building. And even if we somehow avoid the explosions, there's another problem: pollution. Burning trash in a controlled facility is one thing. Doing it inside a volcano is something else entirely. There are no filters. Toxic chemicals, plastics, heavy metals would be released directly into the atmosphere, poisoning the air and contaminating nearby ecosystems. Even worse, not everything would be destroyed. Some materials could survive and be ejected later during eruptions, spreading pollution even further. And then there's the cost. Transporting billions of tons of waste across the planet, the carbon footprint alone would be enormous. In the end, we wouldn't just fail to solve the waste problem, we'd make it worse. Could volcanoes ever be used to dispose of our trash? Technically, maybe, but realistically, it would be dangerous and inefficient. Instead of using nature to fix our problems, we'd be turning it into a weapon against ourselves. But what if we took things even further? What if we tried to get rid of our waste by sending it into space? Would that finally solve the problem, or create an even bigger one? That's a question for another time. Welcome to Vanta.